There's a desert on Earth where, for hundreds of miles, you will not hear a single bird. Not one call. Not one wing beat. Not one shadow crossing the sand. Travelers who've crossed it describe something that unsettles them more than any predator, more than any storm. Complete, total silence. No birdsong at sunrise. No circling scavengers at sunset. Just wind, sand, and a silence. So heavy that some people say it starts to feel like the desert itself is holding its breath. And when explorers finally started asking why, the answer they found wasn't just about weather or heat or lack of water. It was something stranger. Something that connects this empty, silent desert to ancient warnings passed down for generations, and to a truth about survival that most of us never think about until we're standing in the middle of it ourselves. This isn't folklore dressed up for a video. This is a real, documented phenomenon still being studied today. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why silence, in nature, can be one of the loudest warning signs there is. Now here's the part that's going to hit closer than you expect. Think about a room that goes quiet the second you walk in, a conversation that stops mid-sentence. A friend group where something feels off, but nobody's saying it out loud. Silence isn't neutral. It's never just nothing happening. Silence is information. Your body knows this instinctively, even before your brain catches up, that quiet moment where every instinct in you says something isn't right here. That's the exact feeling travelers describe crossing this desert. Not fear of something attacking them, fear of what's missing. Because birds are almost everywhere on Earth, deserts included. Vultures circling for carrion. Small birds darting between rocks for shade. Migratory birds passing overhead on ancient routes older than human civilization. Birds are basically background noise for our entire species. So constant we don't even notice them until suddenly they're gone. So which desert is this? Why did an entire region become a place birds seem to actively avoid? Is it truly empty of birds completely, or is something more specific happening here? Something that only reveals itself once you understand what's actually underneath the sand? Let's go deeper, because the explanation involves geology, survival instinct, and one detail that made scientists rethink how animals sense danger long before humans ever could. Reports of eerily bird-silent stretches show up across multiple extreme desert regions. But one of the most documented cases involves parts of the Danakil Depression in East Africa, one of the most hostile environments on the entire planet. This is a place where the ground itself is actively toxic. Sulfur springs bubble up neon yellow and acidic. Volcanic activity releases gases into the air that are genuinely dangerous to breathe in concentrated amounts. Temperatures regularly exceed 50 degrees Celsius. It's one of the only places on Earth where humans need extreme caution just to walk through certain zones, let alone try to live there. And here's the key detail. Many bird species, along with countless other animals, have biological sensitivities to volcanic gases. Sudden shifts in air chemistry and geological instability that far exceed human perception. Long before a human would notice anything wrong, birds can detect subtle changes in gas concentration, magnetic disturbance, or ground vibration, and their instinct isn't to investigate. It's to leave, immediately, completely, and not come back until conditions change. In regions like this, it's not that birds physically cannot fly there. It's that something in their biology is telling them, consistently, reliably, don't, which means that eerie silence explorers report is an emptiness. It's a warning system. A living, breathing, natural alarm that's been going off in that exact spot for longer than anyone's been alive to hear it. Now here's the twist that makes this story even more unsettling and honestly kind of beautiful at the same time. Local communities living near extreme volcanic and geologically unstable regions have known this for generations, long before modern science confirmed any of it. Passed down warnings that described certain areas as places where even the birds refuse to go, not myths meant to scare children. Practical, survival-based knowledge, built from centuries of watching animal behavior as a signal for human safety. If the birds won't go there, you shouldn't either. That wasn't superstition. That was some of the earliest environmental science humans ever practiced, encoded into oral tradition instead of a lab report. And that's the moment this story flips from creepy silent desert into something genuinely profound. Because animals have been reading danger signals in the natural world with a level of sensitivity humans are only just beginning to replicate with modern instruments. Seismologists studying certain regions have specifically looked at animal migration patterns and behavioral shifts as early indicators of volcanic activity or seismic instability, because in some documented cases animals reacted, left the area, or changed behavior hours or even days before instruments detected anything unusual at all. The empty sky above these silent deserts isn't a gap in nature. It's nature's own early warning system, playing out in real time for anyone paying close enough attention to notice. So here's what this story really leaves behind. The absence of something isn't always emptiness. Sometimes it's information, and often it's the most important information available, precisely because it's easy to miss. We're taught to pay attention to noise, to warning signs that are loud, obvious, impossible to ignore. But some of the most important signals in life, in nature, in relationships, in decisions we make, aren't loud at all. They're quiet. They're absences. A silence where there should be sound. A person who suddenly stops reaching out. A feeling that something's missing, even when you can't quite explain what. That silent desert is still out there right now. Still holding its breath under a merciless sun. Still being avoided by the creatures whose instincts have kept them alive far longer than human science has existed to explain why. And maybe the real lesson isn't just about birds or deserts or volcanic gas. Maybe it's a reminder to actually listen when something around us goes quiet, instead of assuming quiet just means nothing's there. If this pulled you in, hit subscribe, because this planet is full of silences like this one. Quiet places holding on to warnings older than any of us, just waiting for someone curious enough to actually notice.